Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of tea. Yep, we are absolutely on the cleanse. It is cleanse time, 9 days. This is day one. Everybody out there, you want to do the cleanse, raw food cleanse, do it. Make it happen. Go to roadrunner.com, and if you go to the main website, you can see right here, Ruta's 21-day raw food cleanse. We're only doing 9 days. We're going to do the 21 in January, but it's 3 days of just raw food, no cooked food, no booze, no smoking, no caffeine. So 3 days of like salads, fruits, nuts, vegetables. There's a ton of raw recipes on this site. Click on that. Next 3 days are smoothies. Everybody loves a smoothie, right? But that's all you're gonna eat, raw smoothies. And the last day is raw juices. So 9 days to clean out your system. If you want to do it and join the Telegram, email Amy at roadtoruta.com, and she'll get you on the Telegram. Or go to the Telegram channel. Just go to this website. It's got all the information you need, even about Telegram. And where is it? It's the Amy Weir, I think is her Telegram. It's right here. At the Amy C. Weir to join Telegram. And on Telegram, you can sit and chat about the pains and sufferings and triumphs of the 9-day cleanse. So go to Telegram. Just go to the website, Road to Ruta website, and the 21-day. Apparently she has a tip jar too, so make sure you tip her. All right, let's talk about repos. Now my data was off, and I thought it was me. It was partially me because I forgot to add the last 2 days. I forgot to add a couple of the 14-day repos had matured, so I got to take that off the cumulative. But I did find out that they add more repos after the fact. So they'll publish the repo numbers and then they'll add them if more people come on, get more repos during the day. So it jumped and then it went down a little. And then here's where we are. So there was a huge jump in the middle of the week of the 30th, up to $254 billion of overnight money needed. $254 billion. And if you look on, this is the private road repo chart. If you look right there, it had peaked up and then it started coming down. And right around, it was last Friday night, I told everybody, or Thursday night, actually. No, was it Friday? Yeah, it was Thursday night. They announced basically unlimited repos. And not only their repos, but they're going to be buying debt. They're going to be buying U.S. Treasuries, meaning they are paying the banks to take their toxic assets. U.S. Treasury are toxic because nobody knows who owns them anymore. There's multiple owners for all these rehypothecated Treasury bills. It is insane behind the scenes right now. So here's my prediction for this week. They said they're going to leave it open to do more repos and buy assets. They're going to go ballistic this week and next week. It was at 250. They are going to, my prediction for Tuesday, for tomorrow, will be, right now it's at 166 on the overnight for the weekend. I predict that it goes up at least 100 billion, back up to 250, and then by the end of the week, 300 or 350 billion dollars. That's when it gets exponential. Okay, so that's my prediction. Tomorrow, you're going to see the total overnight repos are going to jump, and then we got to add in for the full bailout, we have to add in the purchased treasuries off the banks who destroyed them by rehypothecating. That's how the bank bailout is being attempted. So next week, I think it's going to be over 350, maybe even 400 to 500 billion by the end of next week, because it's going to start going exponential. They cleared the runway right here on October 11th, interesting date, a month after September 11th. And this is what they said: statement regarding Treasury bill purchases and repurchase operations. In light of recent and expected increases in Federal Reserve's non-reserve liabilities, the FMOC directed the desk, effective October 15th, which is tomorrow, to purchase Treasury bills at least into the second quarter of next year. That's a huge amount of time. To maintain over time ample reserve balances at or above the level that basically it's for bank bailouts. The committee also directed the desk to conduct term and overnight repurchase agreement option repos at least through January. So this is a long-term bailout, whereas 2008 was short-term bailout, collapse, go to Congress for the mega bailout. They're trying to do a mega bailout over time, but they're not going to be able to. They're going to be coming to Congress, and I think I'm going to stick with the number 20 trillion in November. 20 trillion by November. So here's this one. In accordance with the directive, the desk plans to purchase Treasury bills at an initial pace of approximately 60 billion per month. Well, of the 100 billion that I have predicted for tomorrow, there's 60 of it right there. Starting with the period from mid-October to mid-November. These reserve management purchases of Treasury bills will be in addition to the desk's ongoing purchase of Treasury securities related to reinvestment of principal payments of the Federal Reserve holdings, blah, 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 blah. Consistent with this directive, the desk will roll over at auction all principal payments from the Federal Reserve's holding of Treasury securities. In addition, at least through January of next year, the desk will conduct overnight and term repos. Now check this out. Term repo operations will generally be conducted twice a week, initially in the offering amount of at least $35 billion per operation. At least. Is that a trillion? Is that a quadrillion? Is that a Google? At least $35 billion. And overnight repo operations are offering at the amount of $75 billion. Let's just say they do the numbers that they just said. It would be 60 plus 35 is 95 plus 75 is 170 per day. Actually, the 60 billion is twice a week. It just gets so ridiculous. That's why on my chart here I have the exponential graph. This is going to turn exponential coming into November. And again, we get up to 20 trillion by November, probably the first or second week in November. And for some reason, I think that's the number that everything falls apart and we go to Congress. Clearly, things are not okay. Clearly, the stock market is rigged beyond comparison, beyond belief. That was Steve Mnuchin's job at Goldman Sachs, to rig the stock market. He was head of IT for Goldman Sachs. Head of IT, information technology. He was in charge of the computer programming and computer rigging at Goldman Sachs. Why do you think he's head of the Treasury? Because that's all that our markets are these days. Complete and total rigging. There is no, the stock market went up because of a China deal. The China deal just fell through, by the way, in case you haven't been watching the news. China said, what are you talking about? We don't have a deal. What are you talking about? There's no deal. Will it drop because it went up, 300-400 points on Friday because of the China deal? It's all a game. The reality is it doesn't matter. You can have a nuclear bomb go off in New York City and it would not matter. It wouldn't move the stock market, the bond market, the gold market, the crypto markets. It does not matter. As long as you're not trading the real thing, real gold and silver, real stocks and bonds, real cryptocurrencies. They aren't real. It's all fake. It's all derivatives, all run by computers. And it ended by Alan Greenspan in the 1960s. I've proven it a million times. Anyway, here's the schedule of what's going to happen, which is insane that they even publish this, but they have to. Overnight operation sales between the 10:15 to 11:13. So starting tomorrow, each day at least $75 billion. At least. Now those are overnights, so they'll go on my calculation, then they'll come off the next day. But they're going to have to keep rolling it over, and it gets bigger and bigger. The reason they leave it open-ended is because it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the term deals are just going to be off the charts. Tuesday, and these are 2-week terms. And every time, as you can see, we have an issue right here. All three of the original term deals have rolled over. It was by last week. That's why they had to announce a hell of a lot more, because those all rolled over. And all of a sudden, you see this chart has started going down again. They can't have that. They need those bailouts to be way up there, continually rolling over, and now it's moved into they're directly purchasing rehypothecated assets from the banks to get them off the bank's balance sheet. We'll see how well this, and at the end of the day, it's not coming down to numbers. It doesn't matter how much the U.S. government prints unlimited amounts of money behind the scenes. It just doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter. What matters is faith and confidence around the world, faith and confidence. And then at some point, Steve Mnuchin will be told, all right, click the mouse and destroy everything. Or somebody will do it for him. If you believe in the remote viewing, guys, Dick Allgaier has the computers crashing together. We will see. He also had something crazy happening today, so keep an eye out. October 14th. I think it's tomorrow, but it might be today still here as China opens up tomorrow. I don't know. We will find out, though. So, yeah, it is bailout central. And let's talk about Deutsche Bank real quick because I saw some news. Not this. I mean, this is Deutsche Bank seems to have lost Trump's tax returns. I'm sure Adam Schiff's going to have a little, hernia on this one. Yeah, they don't have Trump's tax returns. So what? Yeah, he probably cheated on his taxes. Clearly he didn't pay. That's why you're in real estate. You got deferred depreciation, all this shit. That you can make billions and not pay any taxes on it. That's the beauty of having. I was in leasing for a long time. Capital assets that you write off over time. It goes against the income. Take the depreciation that the tax laws give you. Yeah, homeowners love it, but what about Trump, who buys these mega buildings? Of course, he's gonna shelter his income the way any smart guy would. But I don't know if he did anything shifty. Shifty. That's so perfect. That guy's name is so perfect. Here's something more important. Deutsche Bank bond tokenized on EOS mainnet. How many things about that statement can you say is trouble? Deutsche Bank, number one. Bonds are all rehypothecated, so they're fraudulent bonds. Tokenized, you just slapping some token on, and not only some token, but on a a platform that is not even viable. EOS can be changed. It's not immutable. They can go in and change anything they want. What a perfect marriage of convenience. Deutsche Bank bonds and EOS. Let them burn in hell with their little project. D-Bonds team recently managed to tokenize Deutsche Bank bonds on the EOS mainnet. This may be what Bitcoin Ben is talking about when he says everything's going tokenized. It may be. Who would have faith in the bonds underlying the tokens? It's horrible for cryptocurrencies. First of all, nobody has faith in EOS and Block 1. We all know who they are. And do you really have faith that the bonds that are being secured are not rehypothecated for 10 other buyers being given to the central banks of the world? As long as the music keeps playing, everything's fine. And, of course, the perfect blockchain to do it on is the deep state blockchain EOS. That they can change anything they want. They can vote and say, "Hey, let's shadow ban this guy." I will not be using EOS, in case you were wondering. And then G7 says global stablecoins pose threat to financial stability. In fact, the G7 poses a threat to financial stability. Yes, the global stablecoins do pose a threat, only because they're a conglomerate of all the fiat currencies out there that are the threat. So stablecoins are just as ridiculous as the fiat themselves. They're derivatives fiat. So you could take your Tether and all your bullshit. Third-party risk. Same thing with gold and silver, tokenizing gold and silver. Third-party risk. You don't know if that gold is real. You don't know if they have the gold. You got to trust the third-party holder. You don't know if the government's going to come in and say, "Hey, look at all this gold sitting here. We're going to confiscate it." No, just saying no to metal/crypto marriages, because the biggest problem is third-party risk, and that third-party risk is huge. That third party could go bankrupt tomorrow. They might not even hold the gold. They probably don't. You don't even know the quality of the gold. All gold has different quality. It's total and complete faith. And if the system falls apart and the banks crash, what happens to those tokens? They go to zero instantly. You know why? Because the guards at the vault are going to save their family. They're going to walk into that vault, take all the gold, and take it home just to save their family and their people. Or the government, wherever that gold resides, is going to take that for the people. We don't want these rich people having money. So it's insane, the tokenization of gold and silver. That's my take. All right. Let's talk about a little craziness. Something weird was going on in Boca Raton. People sent me pictures of a guy that was shot. They said there's nobody was shot, blah, blah, blah. I think this is a false flag that got stopped midstream because the week before, here we have a fake video of Trump showing members of the media, members of media shown at his Miami resort. They showed there was this big Trump rally, and they showed this video that's it's still on the internet. It's called The Trumpsman. Somebody posted it July 3rd, 2008, and it's a scene from the Kingsman video. What they put Trump's face in there. You can look it up. It's been around for a hell of a long time, but I think that was the plan. Blame the Trump supporters, and all of a sudden, because they did that, there's a fake shooting. Ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous for our news, ABC News busted using gun range footage to report Kurdish slaughter of Kurd civilians. So again, the media is lying to the people. They use footage from a gun range, and look, ABC has removed it because they got busted. This is what the footage they used and said this was happening in Syria or somewhere to the Kurds. Check this out. This is crazy. Yeah, I want to go to that gun range. But the reality is, ABC took that footage and said, look how crazy it is over there in Syria. And they got busted, so they took it down. More absolute insanity. More absolute insanity. Now, hey, last chance. Last chance to get Veritasium. Just dropped below $20. Next time it goes over 20, I'm stopping the giveaway on Veritasium. For every private road member, now's your last chance. You can get one Veri coin and one silver Ruta coin. I know I don't sell them outside of the private road membership. There you go. While supplies last, you get one silver Ruta coin along with one Veritasium token with every new membership or renewal. If you renew, a year gets added, tacked on to the end of your current expiration date. And these will start going out next week. So this is probably your last chance to get Veri, because I think Veri, it's a solution to the exchange problem that I just talked about. It's a solution to rehypothecation. Yes, it is knee-deep in a battle with the deep state SEC. But I think they're going to emerge victorious. I hope they will. But Veri will go either to zero or, like Cliffy's data says, 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. We'll find out. I think we'll find out over this next year. It's very exciting. Very exciting. Anyway, that's your update for today. Hang in there. Keep an eye out for Dick Allgire's shock and horror today. I don't know what it might be, but he's usually not that far off, so maybe it's tomorrow. It's Bix Weir, roadrooter.com. Talk to you later.